Welcome to the monthly Sworn Club raffle, everybody. Heck, it's the Sworn Club show. Not only am I going to raffle, check this out, for some lucky existing current Sworn Club members, but let's do a little convo. We're going to have the comments going. We're going to have some questions. We're going to give some stuff away, going to yap at you, and then we're actually going to go into the Beer with Brian segment where going to get into a Q&A about matters that relate to pop culture and to Coffin Comics. So yes, as you can see behind you, I am going to give some goodies away. But before I do, would you please indulge me in a conversation? Definitely feel free to ask some questions. First thing I'd like to let you know is that we have a promotion going right now as we speak called All Hallows Evil. And I am so proud to present the very first ever Derek Chew Lady Death editions, including the Prestige edition, the Naughty edition, and other cool enhancements of a limited nature. Hello, Andre. Hello, Soundwave. Hey, I'm stoked that you're stoked for Hell Witch. Here is the beautiful Virgin Art version of the Sun K with Lady Death as a witch. Hello, Savannah. Here is the Casket Edition by Matt Meerhoff. Very Halloween-y. Matt has another edition coming up in 2 weeks with Lady Death as a vampire, and it's awesome. Hello, Savannah. Check out this super cool Chamber of Coffins homage. Mike Madigan checking in from the murder capital, Detroit, everybody. Detroit, Rock City. Do you guys know about Chamber of Chills number 19? That is one of the most nefarious comics ever produced. One of the comic covers that actually triggered the investigation into the comics industry as a whole and led to the whole Wertheim investigation of comics. Well, we're homaging it with artwork by Stephen Butler and Dan Feldmeyer doing trade dress and color. We have the Libra edition on this new promotion by David Harrigan, bringing the heat, continuing our Zodiac program. And rounding out All Hallows Evil for comic book editions is the Navy Birthday. Let's see here. So Outcast is saying, how many new comics do you have planned for 2026? I have 6 planned. So this year we have 8 new crowdfundings. Next year we have 6. And closer to Black Friday and in November, I will reveal what they are. So that is All Hallows Evil. It also includes the cool collector's box editions, Chamber of Coffins, and the cool Sun K, and a limited metal print featuring the gorgeous Derek Chew art. It's always hard to, like, with all the direct studio lighting hitting it. Look at it, it's beautiful. Now, as we speak, we have 24 hours left in our Mike Morg Evolution Coffin launch campaign, and I cordially invite you to back it if you haven't. If you liked the type of monster comics I've written, including Evil You Know Who, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Friday the 13th, Chucky, Freddy, I published Halloween. I'm a horror guy, and this is my love letter to horror and to heavy metal. Soundwave says sworn. I say sworn back, my friend. And next Tuesday, coming at you. For those of you who like stuff on the wild side, we have Hell Witch Executioner. Just did a cool preview. Hope you enjoyed it. More to come. All right, everybody, let's get into it, shall we? So here we have all our current Sworn Club members. And look, if you're not a member of the club, I highly encourage you to join. Number one, you get a cool welcome kit, which includes a membership card and other goodies. You get Coffin Comics news 24 hours in advance of everyone else, and you get a 1-hour advantage on the great majority of Coffin Comics promotions. And as I've mentioned before, we are actually retooling and revamping and adding more value into Sworn Club shortly. So without further ado, here we go. We're going to play for whatever's behind here, and what is behind here are some cool additions. including Hell Witch, Lady Death, and La Muerta. And you get these simply for being a Sworn Club member. And that first club member is, let's see here, Jared S. Jared S. You are the current Sworn Club member, and you're getting this stuff. Thank you so much. I can do it. Maybe not. Whoops. Who knows? Let's do another one. Oh, now this is a blast from the past. This is a Mega Incentive Edition by Nai Rufino. Wow, that's cool. I like these. Woo! Coffin Queens Edition by Richard Ortiz. This is a thick one, 64-pager. And this super cool David Harrigan, Lady Satanis. All these prizes come with a bunch of loot, bookmarks, stickers, buttons, pens, all that kind of good stuff. So let's pick another lucky Sworn Club member. Thank you for joining the club. All right. Leon David M. Levi David M. You are the next lucky member. It's cool. So again, coming up, Sworn Club. All alert, because Sworn Fest 2026 is coming. And I cordially invite you to be here. Ask other people on the Sworn Nation Facebook about what is Sworn Club like or Sworn Fest like. I got to tell you, it's immersive. It's a near spiritual experience. It's a blast, featuring tons of artists, exhibits, information, reveals. Look, 2026 is going to be a blast. If you like Coffin Comics and you like the history of the work that I've been involved in, I think you're just going to have a blast. It's going to be fun. We have signed incredible artists that you love, and we are really, really focusing on our promotions and making everything as spectacular as we can. And you'll learn so much more about that at Sworn Fest, which is happening January 30th, 31st, and February 1st, 2026. You can actually get your Sworn Fest tickets right now at coffincomicsshop.com. Just use search term Sworn Fest. And we've already announced a ton of artists, including Richard Ortiz, Diego Bernard, Dahl McTague, Ebass, and others. And next week, we're going to announce even more. And as the weeks follow, there's going to be so much more value added to this experience. I'm excited, but I can't announce it all at once. But we're actually going to give you some more detailed ideas of what the entire event's going to be, what the open house at HQ is going to be like. So more to come. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but get your tickets. You will not be disappointed. Parties, booze, fun. Booze isn't your thing, soft drinks, whatever. Sworn Fest 2026, be there. A couple questions on everybody's mind. They're asking me, you guys are asking. It's like, will there be a Sworn Fest 2028? I don't know. This is a big effort. You know, as you guys may or may not know, not only am I the publisher of Coffin Comics, I am one of the owners of Tucson Comic-Con, putting all these events together. Whew, your boy's not getting younger. So is this the last Sworn Fest? I don't really know. Is this the one to come to? 100%. This is the largest assemblage of Coffin Comics talent with representatives from CGC, CBCS, the live band Black Ember playing hard rock cover hits on Saturday night, a party on Friday, a party on Saturday, open house at HQ, all day tours. I have people laughing about this stuff because it's wild. We're going to be exhausted. You're going to be exhausted, but it's completely worth it. If there's anybody on the stream who knows about Sworn Fest and can speak testimony to what a phenomenal celebration and ritual it is of Sworn Nation, please do so. All right, I am going to, let's see here. Will there be a holiday comic special among them? We do not have we have some holiday themed specials for Halloween, and we have a few for the Christmas holiday in November. Hopefully that answers your question. All right, let's see here. Matt Stapleton, you guys snuck this up on me, I'm here. Well, welcome. Right on. I did. It was a sneak. The afterglow is the best scene. Let's see here. Sworn. Cool. All right. So I'm going to pick one more Sworn Club member. Then we're going to throw it to video. And when we come back, we're going to get into the Q&A section, also known as Beer with Brian. I know who this is. Justice I. Justice I. Justice, this is what you're going to get, my dear. Cool Jamie Tyndall Lady Death. Super rad Anthony Spay Lady Gunfighter. Whoop! And whoops, you know that Coffin Comics. Super cool Hell Witch Lady Death battle comic. All right, everybody. I want to thank you so much for tuning in. Do not go anywhere. We're going to throw it to video. And when we come back, let's get into the segment we like to call Beer with Brian. Let's throw it to video. This is Brian Pulido, creator of Mike Morg, and I'm presenting the all-new 48-page original graphic novel entitled Mike Morg Evolution. Narrowly escaping evisceration at the hands of the psychotic Rigsdale family, Mike Morg finds himself desperate and on the run. His metalhead friends have become killer monsters. His crush is a soul-sucking ghost girl, and his only ally is a wisecracking rat named Ratso. If he has any chance at survival, Mike must harness the dark power of his kill fist and face the Rigsdales head on. But can Mike defeat a cadre of kill-crazy freaks and finally avenge his family? Or will he fall prey to a mad scientist's twisted, unholy plot? It's a tale of gore-splattering ultra horror. Please back our campaign now and tell everyone you know. Thank you so much, you psychopaths. Welcome back to Beer with Brian, where I drink water. All right, so this is the informal Q&A. I usually start off by talking about some pop cultural moments, but really quickly, I see a question here. Mike Madigan says, you will be extremely sad if you miss Swornfest, so don't miss Swornfest. Also back Mike Morg, if I haven't said that before. Charlie said, will there ever be a Hell Witch omnibus? Yes, there will be. We actually have to publish our omnibuy come in 10-chapter durations. So I think with Hell Witch, we're only right now offering chapter 8 or 9. So we got to wait till 10 and then maybe another year. But yep, it's on the plan. In fact, we're in the very preliminary stages of talking about Lady Death Omnibus Volume 2. So there's that. Mike Madigan says, if Night of the Living Dead is your most favorite zombie movie ever, what is your second favorite? My second favorite zombie movie ever is George Romero's Dawn of the Dead. So very simple. I do like the Dawn of the Dead remake, but man, Dawn of the Dead is just another phenomenal one. So that's the answer to that. I'd like to start by some ruminating. So it is the Halloween season, and I've been rewatching a bunch of horror films that thrill and delight me, and that includes I recently rewatched The Last Man on Earth with Vincent Price, and I think I've spoken about that on a stream. I recommend it. Check it out. It is a very loose adaptation of Richard Matheson's I Am Legend. I rewatched last Friday Night of the Living Dead, perhaps for the 100th time, and I love it. I get to watch. I have the Criterion Collection, which, if you care about stuff like this, the George Lucas Foundation and the Museum of Modern Art got together, put the funds up, located the original negative of Night of the Living Dead, and struck a gorgeous print that is just near flawless. Most prints of Night of the Living Dead that people have watched either on TV, VHS, or DVD are all bootlegs. They're all clones of the imagery, and it's just not as clean as the Criterion Collection. So that's the one you really want to watch. Let's see here. Did you see Good Boy Horror Movie? Not yet. And then Matthew Staple says, "Come out." Yeah, in Last Man on Earth, he's saying, "Come out, Morgan, come out." When does the Halloween 2025 merch drop? It's dropped live now. We're doing it. All Hallows Evil is live at coffincomicsshop.com. Coffinverse.com right now. You could also search the site for Halloween theme prints, comics from the past, and other merchandise. Is it worthy having physical media? Yes, it is. If you see me wearing black t-shirts, what it says is physical media. I'm all about the physical media. It's phenomenal. I have a collection of VHS, DVD, CD. I even have Night of the Living Dead Laserdisc. So yeah.
Do you have 8-tracks?
I have a handful of 8-tracks. So I have Kiss Destroyer 8-track. Yeah. Our cameraman Jordan Arbus is like, I don't even know what an 8-track is. 8-track were these. It went from albums, and then they thought the next big thing was going to be this little form called 8-track, and you'd pop it into this machine.
It's like a gigantic tape.
It's like a big tape or cassette. But whereas cassette would play the whole half of a record, and then you'd flip it over, 8-tracks would just cut right in the middle of a song. So, for example, I had the 8-track of the Led Zeppelin record, Physical Graffiti. That's a double album. And all the songs were long. And so certain songs, they would just cut right in the middle of it. So to this day, when I hear that song on the radio or whatever, Siri, when it comes to that point in the song, I'm waiting for the track to click over. This may not mean anything to people who don't know about 8-tracks. Let's see here. Mike Madigan's asking, were you a fan of Tales of the Crypt series? I've been rewatching it. Yes, absolutely a fan of Tales of the Crypt series. Speaking of which, tangentially, I'm a huge fan of The Twilight Zone. So I am rewatching The Twilight Zone this month. I've been seeing different people's best of lists on Twilight Zone and watching them. And I'm actually surprised. I think we've all seen Twilight Zone. Some of the seasons were 30 episodes long, but I saw a very strong one the other night. And it's about a little boy who has a great relationship with his grandmother, played by Billy Mumy, who went on to shows like Lost in Space. And she passes. She had gifted him with a little toy phone, and he begins talking to her from the beyond. And grandma wants to be with the child so much, she's talking him into offing himself. Very, very dark episode, right? So I wish I remembered the name of it. I think it was called like Call from Beyond or something like that? Anyway, let's see here. Physical media is great. Do you have any Betamax? I might have a couple Betamax. I'll say this. I have a collection of Night of the Living Dead on VHS. Now, if you know, Night of the Living Dead has been considered in the public domain pretty much ever since it came out. So when VHS came out, anybody could basically make a copy. And there are over 3,000 different versions. And I have been having a lot of fun collecting my favorites. So I probably have a couple of dozen versions of Night of the Living Dead on VHS. And I might have a couple on Betamax. Is there a question?
Yeah, we've got some questions from people who posted online. And first off, by Andrew W.
Andrew.
What are Brian and Francisca's go-to meals?
So Brian and Francisca's go-to meals. Well, I'm very boring when it comes to breakfast. Every morning, this is what I have. I eat plant-based protein shake along with fruits, which are usually like strawberries, blueberries, pineapple. I add supplements in there for everything from digestive health to like a multivitamin. I know it's not sexy, but that's what I do Monday through Friday. I might have 1 or 2 pieces of toast also. I've always loved toast, so 1 or 2. And then on Sunday, we have a treat. So we either go out for breakfast, we're just having a big breakfast with, the eggs and the ham and all that stuff, or have that same thing at home. Now for lunch, I'm pretty boring. I probably eat the same thing, some version of something like, a portion of turkey, a portion of chicken, along with brown rice and vegetables or salad. And then, it's sort of boring. And then, if we're just sort of having fun like everybody does, probably like once a month we'll have pizza. We have a really good pizza place in our town that is Chicago style. If we go out, a treat would be, we love this place that's like a modern tiki place. And the treat there might be like a pulled pork sandwich or something. I am by no means like I'm health conscious out of necessity, being a little older. I'm interested in longevity. So I just had to clean up my act when it comes to consumption of like drugs, alcohol, bad food, because I want to live a long qualitative life. So I have minimized my red meat because the doctor told me to do that about 3-4 years ago, because high cholesterol. Sorry, not sexy, but true. So I don't eat well. I eat well by choice because I'm interested in longevity. So there's your answer there. Some of my favorite meals are probably like everybody's. I like sushi. I like Italian food. I like Chinese food. I like Szechuan food. I like Mexican food. Oh, Francisca, Taco Tuesday, Pasta Wednesday, Thai Thursday. She's right. So we do Taco Tuesday most Tuesdays. Tonight is definitely Pasta Wednesday, because back when I was a kid in New Jersey, they used to say Wednesday was Prince Spaghetti Day. So it's just like Spaghetti Day. So yeah, and although it's Pasta Wednesday, we'll have plant-based meatballs. So, and they're great. They taste good. And then the treats would be things like Thai on Thursday. And I'm eating, the lighter meats, and having a burger is a treat. I'll do it a couple times a month and, totally relish it. I love it. But,
well, that's my Thais, right?
And then, yeah.
My Thais Tuesday, that Thais Tuesday.
Yeah. And then, like my favorite spirits these days, I do like a beer, but I do like whiskey is my fave, but I do like my spirits, but everything in moderation. So that's
Mike R, speaking of beer, Mike R would like to know, what is your favorite beer?
My favorite beer is probably Corona. I know it's very bland. I don't go for IPAs. That might be a treat. Anything that's too rich and caloric, because again, I'm keeping it trim and keeping it tight. So I just love the taste of Corona. I always have, and I realize it's like a thinner beer. But if I'm like in a town and there's a recommended brew pub, I'm definitely going to have some exotic cool brews, generally towards the pale ales. That's just my personal taste. I've never been a Guinness Stout kind of person, because I don't want to like eat my beer. I want to drink my beer.
All right, we've got Michael N. Who is your favorite character that you have ever created and written about?
Oh my gosh, my favorite character that I've ever created and written about. I think that's a very difficult question, because it's frequently like whatever the one we're working on. Yeah, I'm going to plead the fifth. I'm going to plead the fifth. Andre said he picked up today the Lady Death and the Women of Chaos Gallery. Awesome. Work on that Chaos Comics collection, as I have. That's something I've been doing and posting about, is cleaning up my Chaos Comics collection, making sure I have 2 of everything. I don't, but that's the way it is. And even same thing, I'm cleaning up my long history of my Coffin Comics collection. Any other questions?
We have an anonymous asking, are there any crossovers in the future?
There are absolutely some crossovers in the future. And the first one that has been announced is Lady Death Zombie Tramp 2, which co-stars Hell Witch. And the plot and script by Dan Mendoza, and I don't know if it's for me to announce who was the writer of record, is great. The art is insane, and you'll all be thrilled by it. It's amazing. Dan is just a great, very talented publisher and creator, and he knows his stuff. It's just a lot of fun. I've already approved the script. It's a hoot.
And then going with that, is there ever a chance of a crossover? By Kenny B is asking, with Joseph Linsner's Dawn.
I don't foresee a crossover with Joseph Linsner's Dawn, if only because I don't think that that's what Joseph is into. Like, he and I have known each other for the better part of 3 decades, and I just don't think that's like his game. So he's not particularly into that. So I don't know that I would approach him for that. I see Matt Stapleton said, what was my last concert on my next concert? And says, hi, Brandy.
Hi, Matt. What
was my last concert? My last concert, it wasn't it was a Thievery Corporation at the Van Buren. And so Thievery Corporation is, I don't know what you'd call it exactly, but I call it's like a cousin to trip hop type music. It's very chill vibe, but it's got like, spoken word, singing, hip hop, sitars, rap beats, like all kinds of stuff. It's a hoot. My next concert that I'm aware of that I remember is Stray Cats at the Celebrity Theater. So I'm really looking forward to seeing those guys for the better part of 4 decades, and to see all 3 original members together, it's going to be a delight. Let's see here. And Frost WSA says, hi, I'm about to place my order. Make it happen. Sounds good. All right. And Andre says his Chaos collection is growing. Do we have any other questions?
Are you coming to Big Apple Con in November?
I am coming to Big Apple Con in November. It is a one-day event. It's happening at Midtown in New York City. It's my only area appearance for the foreseeable future. Last time, I will not be at New York Comic Con. Everybody who's there have a blast. It looks wonderful. But I will be at New York Comic Con, hopefully placed near my pal Billy Tucci. And I personally am very excited because Jim Steranko is a guest. And I'm bringing some Steranko comics for him to sign because he is one of my favorite. So Solomon, be there or be square. Do you have any other questions?
Over all the years and all the stories that you put together, what's been the most challenging part of being the kind of puppet master?
So the question is, in coordinating all the stories, what's the biggest challenge? I think the biggest challenge in any story is like when you start in the beginning, because it's like it's inert. And you have to kind of get it going and get some momentum. And in the beginning, it feels kind of cold and lifeless, and it's not speaking, it's not operating. But then as you kind of feed it and spend time, the characters start moving, talking. You're kind of running scenarios and see what really is true. So it's usually the startup of a given story. And sometimes I may not start on the given plot. I might start on the entire world of the story and then get closer and closer and closer and then lock in on what a plot could be. So yeah, it's usually the beginning. The beginning takes a little extra work. Yeah. So any other questions? All right, folks, I just want to say this. I want to thank you so much for checking in on this portion of our Sworn Club show, which is Beer with Brian, for asking some of the questions. I look forward to seeing each and every one of you in Texas and San Antonio in the better part of 2 weeks. Andre's asking, in theory, how much is the old multiverse of Chaos Comics still canon? I think the classic era, I've said this since the beginning, to me, the classic era of Coffin Comics is still, of Chaos Comics is still canon to the world of Coffin Comics. So yeah, it's something I've said since the beginning. So that's that. So there's your theory answered. You know, I do think the breaking point is the end of that storyline, Dark Alliance, and then obviously picks up, in my view, at Chaos Rules. And for people who really get nitpicky about that, some things about that, the intertwining have been answered, many have not, but maybe, who knows, maybe that's a story to be told one day. I don't know. Anyway, y'all have been great. I've been Brian Pulido. I will see you in Texas. I will see you in New York, and I'll see you next Tuesday for the launch of Hell Witch Executioner. Thank you so much for joining in, everybody. Have a great day.